Okay.
Yeah, tell me whenever you start.
Good.
Oh, are we starting? It
Yeah.
says recording. Okay. I'm starting. So, adolescent sleep patterns, collaborative assignment number 7. I'm Alexis Sharada, and we have, I don't actually know how to say your name. How do I say that?
Minay Barbie.
It's a really cool name. All right, next slide, please, Vinay. This is an example of what's the worst that can happen. We have due date, which is on the left side of the screen, which is an example of someone who is falling asleep or distracted at the wheel. And then we have, on the right side of the screen, comedic example of too much energy and the consequences of that, which are really funny either way. So anyway, yeah. Sleep deprivation, manifestations of sleep disorders, or symptoms of a lifestyle. So with these slides, there's lots of information here. Please feel free to pause the video and read them at your own leisure. I'm going to read the highlighted portions. Sleep deprivation and its observable effects were first studied 124 years ago by Patrick and Gilbert, who kept young adult men awake for 90 hours. This resulted in perceptual illusions, transient hallucinatory episodes, and depersonalization are among the most commonly observed symptoms. The adverse effects disappeared once the individuals received adequate rest. The consequences. So, long-term effects of sleep deprivation include a myriad of observable consequences, recently confirmed as originating from a lack of those needed hours of restful slumber. Health conditions like obesity, diabetes, hypertension, anxiety, depression, and the abuse of uppers and downers like caffeine and alcohol are to name the large ones. This doesn't include data collected by auto insurance companies like Liberty Mutual and others that report 56% of driving adolescents admit to driving when in a state of exhaustion. 1 in 10 have reported completely falling asleep at the wheel at least once, with 90 registered sleep disorders having a source from behavioral, pathological, or both. It's no surprise that estimations of 50 to 70 million Americans suffer from some sort of level of preventable sleep deprivation. Natural phenomena or alien effect. So, studies have been done more recently in 2005 to observe sleep windows in adolescents. SLT, or sleep latency time, is a measurable passage of time until sleep, which is the natural sleep pressure, increased a larger stage of night that increased with maturity in the sleep-saturated youth. So the older the youth, the later the bedtime. It's proposed that adjustment of time and waking ups for school schedules would save millions of dollars in taxpayer money and lead to a dramatic increase in student emotional and physical health by shifting the start time for schools from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. In states where this is done, student-related car accidents have dropped by 70%, which is pretty amazing. Accountability is more than noticing a problem. That all being said, school is only one of many contributing factors to sleep deprivation. This call for reform is many ways putting the cart before the horse. Other contributing factors to behavior aspects of sleep deprivation include misdiagnosis or complete oversight from medical practitioners and parents that see the symptoms but ignore the infection. A lack of a lack of self-discipline on the part of youth in regards to technology and other responsibilities are a good cause. There is evidence that families with disadvantaged or depressive parents sleep on average 35 minutes less each night. This deprived group doesn't make up the statistics of advantaged groups of 16 to 19-year-old drivers that make up 27% of all drowsy driving-related car accidents, as told by AAA, which would surely increase if the number of youth drivers increased. So if you gave all of these disadvantaged kids cars, we probably see a larger incline to drowsy driving related car accidents. Is it the responsibility of the government to mediate and set a standard for our youth? Is it in the best interest of our economy, our public health to alter the system set in place? Should there be more flexible option available to parent and students that will allow them to facilitate better health and natural state of living? I think more attention should be given to Canada as they lead the world with its ratio of citizens with higher education. The federal government's influence in education is limited and sometimes non-existent, says BBC.
Okay, so the effects of poor sleeping habits. A lack of good sleep in adolescents can be associated with obesity, migraines, and poor immune systems. They are also more likely to smoke, drink, engage in physical violence, feel less active, become depressed, and develop suicidal tendencies. And students who don't sleep well tend to do poorer on homework and exams, which we can see. And in this little picture over here, I thought it was interesting. That gives good patterns for sleeping for kids. So for elementary school, children aged 6 to 12 years old need 9 to 12 hours of sleep each night. And in a survey, 43% had trouble sleeping and 26% did not like to sleep. 34% reported that they didn't get a good night's sleep. And younger kids are able to go to sleep earlier and fall asleep quicker. In middle school, so adolescents aged 13 to 18 need about 8 to 10 hours of sleep each day. 6 out of 10 report that they did not get enough sleep. 6% report that they have fallen asleep at school. Middle schools that start after 8 a.m. have a higher performance rate in math and reading. About 7 out of 10 students do not get enough sleep on school nights in high school. 2 out of 3 high school students sleep less than 7 hours. 33% of students fall asleep in school. Most adolescents get the best sleep from 11 p.m. to 8 a.m. because of a biological clock that develops. And 50% of licensed teens drive too tired, and 1 in 10 have reported to fall asleep at the wheel.
Okay, how does school systems currently address sleep needs? School personnel are often provided with basic information about sleep-related issues and basic sleep needs of students. Increasing awareness of and vigilance for warning signs of sleep deficiencies. If there is any suspicion of a possible sleep disorder, teachers can communicate this with parents or SATs, which is student assistance teams, based on a basic sleep assessment. If SAT considers there is a sleep disorder, parents should be provided with suggestions on how sleep concerns could be addressed at home. They may also be referred to a sleep specialist if necessary as further treatment, which is good to see that the school systems are giving the parents the responsibility versus taking responsibility for it. Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act. Parents can request Section 504 accommodations at school. The Section 504 administrator should suggest parents to obtain a sleep evaluation and appropriate treatment for a medical professional as part of this planning process. If this evaluation supports the need for treatment for sleep disorders, treatment should be suggested to the parents as part of a student's general medical management, which is important to treat it as a medical issue, to take it seriously. Behavioral health professionals in school must take the initiative to ensure that information and recommendations on sleep hygiene are provided to students and parents or guardians.
And school start times. There are sleep-related policy issues for schools to consider. The American Academy of Pediatrics, released recommendations for later school start times, with classes starting no earlier than 8:30 a.m. This policy recommendation evolved out of a recognized need to adapt school schedules and activities to accommodate adolescent sleep-wake cycles, which frequently enter a sleep onset delay, making it difficult for many adolescents to fall asleep before 11 p.m. And that's part of that biological clock that I mentioned earlier. And ways schools can address students' sleep needs. Educators should take an active role in identifying and addressing sleep-related issues in students. Ensure that school activities such as sport games or play practices end on time. Do not assign homework that requires staying up too late. And communicate with parents about the importance of their children's sleep. And that is all.
And that's, yeah, the last are the two citations slides. If anyone has more information on any of the stuff, there's some pretty interesting studies. Just type in the links and provide you with plenty of information on sleep. So thank you, Minay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, if there's any questions, add them in the comments, right? And we'll answer them.